Hey guys, welcome to the 14th episode of the Chris and Kadie Show, number 14. And Ryan, your face is cut off. I can only see your goatee now. There you are. We have a special guest with us this week, guys. His name is Ryan Savallo, and he is a friend of Katie's, a new friend of mine I just personally met, I think, in June. And he's just getting his camera set up. But Ryan is a singer-songwriter that we're going to talk to him about one of his songs and share one of his songs here in a minute. But before we do that, let's catch up a little bit. Kadie, is everything the same? Just working your tushy off as usual?
Yeah, I had a fun show last Friday though. We played at the Oasis in Midlothian, like I said last week we had. But we had a lot of fun
I
doing
saw some
that. So
videos from that. You guys were kicking ass for sure. Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
I
It
wish
was.
that y'all were closer because that's one of my favorite places to play.
Yeah,
So
I'm hoping to
we
get out
always
to
have
that
fun.
place. Our trip to Midlothian wasn't too bad recently. It's just
No.
our vehicles are kind of shit boxes. So anytime we leave the county, it's kind of it's kind of a religious experience to say the least. But just got to remind everybody we are sponsored by HyperX Gaming. If you guys are looking for the best in gaming peripherals like headsets and microphones and all kinds of other cool things, you can go to the link in the description. And anything you do purchase through that link, we will get a cut of that. So our special guest this week is Ryan Savallo. Ryan, welcome to the Chris and Kadie Show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you are here today.
I'm I'm from East Texas. Been I guess, in and out of the oil field for the past 17 years. Um, Recently opened my own automotive shop in the past 2 years, and that's been kind of a journey. But yeah, just trying to make a living through the hard times like everyone else, and try to make the best of it as I can. I'm from a little town called Grand Saline, Texas. I mean, there's a lot of other hidden talent around here. And yeah, it's just, I guess one of the reasons why I'm here is, let me just talk about what the topic is,
Now we'll get into the
the main.
topics a little bit later, but tell us about where people can follow along with your music, your web page, things like that, your social media, etc.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I mainly just go off of the Facebook format. I keep a lot of stuff on there, but everything that I actually post from Facebook goes to Instagram. So anybody can find me on Instagram or Facebook. And my actual song that I've got out and produced is Wandering Moon, and you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Um, yeah, I've got a lot more other songs that I've been wanting to record. It's just been life's been so busy with four
Mm-hmm.
kids and trying to please myself and please everybody else, and it just kind of gets like that sometimes.
And we're excited to share a live version of that song, "Wandering Mind," here on the show this week. Tell us a little bit about the song and how it came to be.
Oh well, like I said, working in the oil field a lot. I mean, when you get stuck out on a job and you know that you're going to be, just in one spot for 14 days without leaving, and that is, that's kind of tough. And then, you're not really doing it. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm doing it because I love it," but a lot of people is really just doing it because of the money, and they just think they love it. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the story on it. In my mind, just always kind of be wondering, about what's going on at home, what's going on with the kids, what's going on with friends that I haven't seen in forever. Just my mind just kind of was wondering, just kept wondering about everybody, and that's whenever I would mostly think about it. But the everyday fast in and outs of life, when you're at home, you don't think about that stuff until you're actually put somewhere and institutionalized, I guess you could say, of sort. But that's what kind of where that song came from. I wrote it out in Carlsbad, New Mexico. I was working out there, and I just sat down one night. I had a lot going on, thinking about a lot of stuff, and that song just came to my mind, and I could even hear the rhythm parts to it. I just, when it came, I didn't even have the guitar in my hand. I just started writing it down, and then that night I was working nights, and I got off, and the next morning I went ahead and went in my bunkhouse and finished the rest of the song, and then it's just kind of stayed the same. I mean, we've changed a few parts of it, but it's pretty much the same as it was when I wrote it, out there in the oil field.
And Kadie, you know a lot about Ryan. Is there anything you want our viewers to know about Ryan, or do you have any questions for him?
Well, for one, this is my homie G right here. Go see him if you need any car stuff and you're around Grand Saline too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Wood County
I don't
represent.
know. Heck,
So we're really.
hey, I got
Go
tires.
ahead.
Ryan, I got tires.
Good deal.
So this will be an exciting moment for the podcast. It'll be the very first time you'll be the answer to a trivia question. The very first time we're featuring live music here on the Chris and Kadie Show. Y'all check it out. It's Wandering Mind by the one and only Ryan Savallo.
Sometimes my mind it wanders with a wide range of thoughts, trying to think of good ones, but the bad is all I got. With the thoughts that get stuck inside, yeah, they turn into pain. The thought of my loved ones and my friends all the same. It will cut you like a knife. It will tear your heart in two. Old skies are healed, but my thoughts they never do. It's balling up inside with my head full of pain, wanting to cry out loud and say, make this go away. Pushing through another time and time again. Even though you know that the shit may never end. Trap thoughts may kill you if you don't get them out. Maybe not sooner than later, but they will without a doubt. Days and nights may go by, not feeling them at times. Once you let your guard down, they're still heavy on your mind. It's piling up inside with my head full of pain, wanting to cry out loud and say, make this go away. Pushing through another time and time again, even though you know that the shit may never end.
Every time it peters out, it gets more life.
Sometimes my mind it wanders with a wide range of thoughts, trying to think of good ones, but the bad is all I got.
All right, so we are back. That was Wandering Mind by Ryan Savallo. We got that live from the Union 28 in Midlothian. You saw the lovely Miss Katy Lynn there on the stage next to him during that show as well. If you want to see more of that show, we'll put the entire a link to that entire show in the description here as well. That was a song swap that we went to. I think it was in the beginning of June with Katie and Ryan's swapping songs, both originals and covers. It was a really cool venue out there. So yeah, first time ever live music on the show. And we have a new format of sorts that Katie and I agreed to last week. And that includes anytime we have a special guest on the show, one of the prerequisites of the special guest is they have to do the game. They have to be the one that plays the game. And then me and Katie get to watch them suffer. So Ryan has graciously accepted the game, and so what we're going to do, the way this works, Ryan, is I did show you I sent you a script with the 5 games and what they are, but how we determine what game is played is I have a random wheel that has the 5 games on it. I'm going to spin the wheel to select your game, then I'm going to spin the wheel again to select your topic, and then away you go, essentially. And then Katie and I will try to shape your answer. So here is the spin to try to figure out what game you are playing. All right, the game you are playing is called Don't Get Me Started, which means a topic will be given, and then you have to give a fake angry rant about that topic. So whatever topic it is, you have to be angry in a fake way, okay? Whatever you come up with.
Go off on some BS you can think off the top.
That's right. So now I'm going to come up with the topic. The topic is, now we have over 70 topics on here. If you would like to add a topic to our wheel, you can email us at thechrisandkatieshow@gmail.com. Just put in as many topics as you want. Oh my God. I just saw the topic, bro. This is going to be great. Okay. What? Oh my God, Katie, you're going to love this shit. Okay.
Yeah, come on now.
Okay. The topic is K-pop. Ryan, do you know what K-pop is?
Well, I guess you might need to explain it to me.
Okay, so K-pop is essentially Korean pop music. It's shortened into K-pop.
Oh, man, that's some of my favorite jams right there.
All right, so you have to give a fake angry rant, and you have to start the game with the words "Don't get me started on K-pop," and then take it away.
So I'm supposed to say, "Don't get me started on K-pop"?
Yep, and then just give a fake angry rant on K-pop.
Yeah, especially sometimes when you go inside for, like you're speaking of this K-pop, you go in a Asian restaurant and the music's playing and it sounds real good, and then you try to play your what is it called, Shazam, so you can figure out what song it is, and then it says it's not, or it says this song is not detected because it's all fake music from over where K-pop is at, I guess you could say. But anyway, that's kind of, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, K-pop.
So is one of the things that you dislike about K-pop is the fact that it's usually in Korean and English? Like, they just can't pick a language?
Yeah, that's like some of my music from my culture. Like
Ryan Savallo, the K-pop Grand Celine country artist. Let's go.
Right.
Katie, you got any questions?
Okay, what is bottom line the point? Okay, Ryan, what is just like, what's got you just so like riled up about K-pop? What's so wrong with it?
Probably the fact of the matter is that we don't know where it actually came from, K-pop. I mean, you know what I mean? It could be that American or their style of music, but it can be both. K-pop. I don't know. I've heard it a few times, but I've not got addicted to it. So I guess we can talk whatever you want to talk about it.
Well, see, one of the things that pisses me off is every time I order some K-pop, I'm expecting like a frozen treat, and I end up with Korean music. It's kind of a letdown, I think, don't you?
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I thought it was like some K-pop. You know, they always say that they say that Coke is a lot better in the bag than it is in the bottle.
Exactly.
So, had the nickname of K-pop for a long time, and a buddy of you calls and says, "Hey, man, I'm going to bring some K-pop over." He gets over there and opens up a damn CD, and you're like, "Hey, man, what are we going to do? Use this to rail one out or what?" He's like, "Oh, no. It's, you got to hear this." And then he puts it in, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Now we're talking. Nothing worse than taking away my frozen treats with Korean music. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. All right. Don't get Ryan started on K-pop. All right. All right, so next up on our agenda this week, as you can probably tell, we are not talking about dead people in this episode. That is something new. Typically, before now, the first 13 episodes, we would talk about all the celebrities that died. And that doesn't mean that celebrities didn't die. They still died. But I'm just expecting y'all to go to Wikipedia and figure it out. I ain't telling you no more. That's the only difference.
You tell us who died. How about that?
Yeah, go in the comments. Tell us the celebrities that died. But we're next up on our agenda is we're going to talk about the top 5 favorite foods from a barbecue restaurant for the 5 of us. Now, we are all located in the state of Texas, and barbecue is a prevalent part of all of our diets, I imagine. So the way this will work is we're going to go in order. These are not random order, and it can be any item that you have eaten personally at a barbecue restaurant, okay? So it doesn't even have to be something that's identified as barbecue. As long as you have eaten it at a barbecue restaurant, you can put it on the list. Those are the rules, and I'm going to go first with number 5. I've got fried pie at number 5 because, man, one of the things I love about barbecue restaurants is just the fried pies and all the different, like, flavors. I mean, from apricot and blackberry. I mean, you name a fruit, you can get it in a fried pie in a Texas barbecue restaurant. Man, so I got number 5 is fried pie. What do you got at 5, Katie?
So I love fried pie, and I love banana pudding. Okay,
I forgot about banana pudding. Golly.
But here's my problem. When we say barbecue, we talking about the meats, okay? That's what we talk about. We Arby's in this shit. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, my 5 is barbecue chicken, boy.
Okay.
Chicken, right off the bone, huh?
No, I usually like, well, okay, a breast in what we're talking about in this scenario.
Hey, come on. We're trying to get sponsors over here, Katie. Golly.
Breast.
I got it. He's giving you hell.
Oh my gosh. All right, Ryan, what do you got at number 5? Favorite barbecue food?
Just so number 5 being the worst of what my favorite thing is?
5th favorite, not worst. I mean, there's going to be hundreds of things that are worse than your 5th. But yeah, your 5th favorite.
Another thing is like there's this place that's in Mineola, Texas, called Cow Burners, and they have pork skins and queso. And you don't see that at a lot of barbecue restaurants. But, I mean, they're famous for it, and I'm telling you, it's killer. I love it. But, yeah, that would be probably one of mine because I have several.
All right,
on this topic.
There you go. That sounds amazing. Pork skins and queso. I have not eaten at Cow Burners yet, so I might have to check them out. They're not far from us.
Oh, famous for their barbecue, but they're famous to me for pork skins and queso because at the time I was going on the carnivore diet, and I was like, man, I got to find something that tastes good I can eat. And a buddy of mine told me, go over here at Cow Burners and get some pork skins and queso, and I've been hooked on it ever since.
Yeah, definitely going to have to check that out. All right, so I am next with number 4, and I'm going to tag Cow Burners in this too, by God. Maybe we'll even use this as a way to promote them a little bit. All right, number 4. Now, Katie was talking about meats, and my list is chock full of meats from here on out. Let's see. Number 4, I'm going to go with smoked turkey. Just because I like me some smoked turkey all year round. It's really hard to find turkey most of the year, but barbecue restaurants in Texas typically carry it for the entire year. So if I'm wanting turkey, that's one of the few places you can find it, in my opinion. I love me some turkey.
I didn't think about turkey.
Yeah. See, I saw your chicken and I raised you a turkey. See what I mean? See what I did there? Katie Lynn, what do you got at number 4?
Okay. I'm allowed to, first of all, I'm allowed to have the same meat in different ways. First of all. Okay.
I love it.
Number 4.
She's going to go with 5 different chickens. Sliced brisket, okay.
I love fucking brisket, and I like sliced brisket when I'm not like in the mood for like too much. Like I like a sandwich or anything crazy. I just get some sliced brisket with like some mashed potatoes, some like green beans. Fuck it up.
Hell yeah, I agree. Ryan, what do you got at number 4, my man?
I've got I would have to go with. There's another place, and it's not open anymore. But it used to be called Triple Creek Barbecue, and it was in Athens. And man, they had these dang pickles that they made themselves, but it was sweet pickles. And I mean, they just topped off their barbecue. But it just they had all their stuff all their pickles was homemade, all their kind of vegetables was homegrown. They got it right out of the garden, and that's just what topped that place off, I guess you could say. Because those sweet pickles, man, I love them.
So I am right there. I'm right. Go ahead, Ryan. Say that again. You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I would just get a little styrofoam box and take them with me because I like them so much. Those pickles.
Yeah, I used to jack as many pickles as I could too. Put some of those onion rings in there too, like the not the fried onion rings, just the regular cut up onions, man.
Yeah.
Toss those on a sandwich. So I'm right there with Katie. I agree that we can have different meats prepared different ways.
Thank you.
Because there is a difference between sliced beef and chopped beef in the world of barbecue. And I'm going to get into what the difference is for me. But I am with Katie. I have sliced brisket here at number 3, or sliced beef. Either way, they're called the same thing. But yeah, I got sliced beef right here at number 3, and I will have chopped beef in one of my top 2. And I will tell you why I like the chopped beef more than sliced. And I'm assuming Katie also has chopped on her list. So what's your number 3, Katie?
Number 3, I got wings, baby.
Did you say wings?
Wings. You can get them at certain barbecue restaurants. I have, okay, and it's just different. It's different.
Yeah.
I love me some Buffalo Wild Wings. I love me some Wingstop, but man, you get them like done at a barbecue restaurant if they offer it. And I feel like it is mildly a sin for being on my list, but I don't care. But man, get you some lemon.
I can already see the comments that are coming in on this one.
I don't give a shit.
That weenies, barbecued weenies. I was all like, Lord.
Yo, I don't think I've seen a barbecue restaurant with weenies. If they had them, I'm going, bro.
That ain't no joke.
Fuck y'all.
No,
What you want, Ryan?
I thought you said I got 3 knees. Got a left knee and a weenie. No, I'm joking.
All right, Ryan, what's your number 3, my man? Top 5 barbecue.
My number 3 is probably going to be the Chop Barbecue, and the only reason why is because there's another restaurant that you can give them a call at. It's the Feed Hut in Grand Saline, and if you get Chop Barbecue, they give you an option of you want it wet or you want it dry. And the wet has fat already in it, chopped up. She chops it up like that. Or if you don't want it like that, then you can just get it dry, and it's just regular meat. But I really like it kind of half and half because that's another thing. When I was on the carnivore diet, then that animal fat sticks with you a lot longer than what preservatives and stuff you can get over the counter with the processed foods we eat today. But that fat would hang with me, and I would go through intermittent fasting, and it just was so good. That fat and the beef together, it made me where I wasn't so hungry in the mornings.
That's smart, man. That's really smart. I like to hear that. Our expert dietitian in the house.
What?
I said expert dietitian over here. All right, number 2, I've got sausage sandwich here. I'll keep it real. For a long time, I'm not from Texas originally now, but I got here as quick as I could. But I've been here for 23 years now, and the only thing I could really stand at barbecue restaurants for like the first 7 or 8 years I was here was the sausage. Just that smoked flavor, I couldn't get used to it for a long time because I was just the first half of my life, I never experienced it. That's changed now. But for a really long time, the only thing I could really handle was the sausage. And that would have been number one on my list, like prior to, say, like maybe 5 years ago. But I have it at number 2. It's still kind of a go-to from time to time. And I almost always get at least one sausage sandwich when I go to barbecue. Katie? Number 2.
I didn't think about that either. That sausage would be good, though.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all aren't allowed to give me shit, because this is more common, even though it's not. It's a different kind of thing. But I got me some shrimp. Some shrimp.
I gotta know what the hell restaurant she's going to when she's getting wings and shrimp.
Literally Google it. It's like a thing. I swear to God. Sorry, I'm going to the bougie shit.
I really want to get some if you've been
I'm
getting.
so full of shit. I have no money.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I've never seen barbecue shrimp, but that sounds delicious to me.
Me and Jackson, one time we went to this, we had a gift card from a family member, okay? Because our bill was like $300. And we just had like couple steaks, and like I got shrimp there. And like we didn't get much, and it was like $300. And we both drank water.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but that's some bougie shit. I don't remember what it was, but it was so.
Y'all don't forget, what was it, episode 3, Katy Lynn still thinks that Red Lobster is a classy joint. Don't forget that, guys. Don't forget that. Ryan Savallo, what is number 2 for you?
I'm probably gonna go with number 2. Is gonna dang, I guess I'm just a freak on cheese, but they got these cheese potatoes, and it's not mashed potatoes, it's potatoes, it's diced, and then she puts sour cream with a little bit of cheese and bacon's in there, and she cooks it like that, and then they serve it at that feed hut in Grand Saline at the barbecue place. And man, every time I go on there, I'm like, you got any of those cheesy potatoes ready? Oh, nope, I don't have none today, honey. I'm like, oh Lord, you just lost my. No, I'll go ahead and get something else. But
oh man, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to check that place out too.
With some brisket and sausage.
So that is one thing I like doing too, is like mixing up the meat in a chopped sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like having like beef and sausage or.
I'll go ahead and tell you. So if you go over there, you got to get the meat plate. She brings you out jalapeno sausage, brisket, have it chopped or sliced, and then she brings out the smoked turkey with it.
Ooh.
So I always get the place, and then you get 2 sides with it, and it's just top of the line.
Shit, they should call that the top 5. What in the world? That's amazing. All right, so my number 1, as you could probably guess based on my answers earlier, is chopped beef sandwich. And the reason why I like the chopped beef over the sliced beef, although they are both amazingly good, I like the chopped beef because I feel like when you put like the barbecue sauce on that shit, it just hits different. It slaps more than just the sliced beef. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because like the sauce gets in there a little bit more or whatever. But yeah, I got chopped beef number 1. Katie?
Okay, so as Ryan was talking, I don't remember what triggered it, but I thought about something, but it's just not going to be on my list. But I have a chopped brisket sandwich as my number 1.
Damn, we are the same. Let's go.
I thought about brisket mac and cheese, and now I'm.
There's a lot of things I'm missing too, like ribs, banana pudding. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could make the list. It's tough.
But man, a brisket sandwich, you can't go wrong, really. And man, you go to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's got pretty good chopped brisket. They got decent shit there. It's good on the go.
You get all your Texas country music stuff there too while you're there. So there you go. Yep.
All kinds of shit.
All right, last word on this one, Ryan. What's your number 1?
What? So I hate to be the one to be different because you don't know how much I love chopped beef. But the same place that I was talking about with a meat plate, you can get the turkey swapped out with a ham, and I'm going to tell you, her smoked ham.
I love smoked ham.
Oh, I'm telling you, she's got the top of the line smoked ham, and that's going to have to be my favorite meat, number 1.
Nice.
Just because I'm a ham eater. I love ham. And then she puts that extra taste on it. So
A lot of
The
barbecue
feed-
restaurants don't carry the ham too, so it's nice when you find a place that does, for sure.
yeah, she cooks. I don't know how much she cooks, but she always is up early in the morning cooking. So
Yeah.
usually
So maybe we'll tag the Feed Hut and Cow Burners on this, just to show them some love in the future for folks that do watch this segment. So again, I have chopped beef 1, sausage sandwich 2, sliced beef 3, smoked turkey 4, and fried pies number 5. Katy Lynn has chopped beef number 1. She got bougie barbecue shrimp number 2. She somehow knows of wings at a barbecue restaurant somewhere at number 3. She got sliced brisket at number 4 and barbecue chicken at number 5. And then Ryan, who has to be different, he has smoked ham at number 1, cheesy potatoes at number 2, chopped beef number 3, sweet pickles number 4, and pork skins and queso at number 5, specifically from Cow Burners in Mineola. That is our top 5 things to eat at a barbecue restaurant. If you're watching out there, what's your favorites? Comment down below. Where did we get it wrong? I don't think we did. Challenge me, bro.
Try me. Be.
We're going to get into our first topic, and the way I have this set up is I'm going to have Katie go first with this, if it's okay with her, since she does have some reality TV show experience. We have a big story coming in from the news of American Idol. What do you have for us, Katie?
First of all, did you see Ozzy?
I did. The mascot has made his appearance.
He appeared. Okay. So, Carrie Underwood is taking American Idol judge's seat after Katy Perry's departure. She will be joining Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan on the 2025 season. She won Idol back in 2005. We all know this, but she's coming to the show as a judge for its upcoming 23rd season early next year. She's taking Carrie. That was a mix of words. Katy Perry. Carrie.
It's essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah. Anyway, who departed at the end of the last season. But Lionel, Luke, and Ryan Seacrest are returning. It was announced Thursday. Is this? Yeah, this past Thursday on Good Morning America. We don't care about any of that. It says this is a quote from Disney Television Group President Craig Erwich. He said this is a full circle moment both for the show and audiences. Excuse the hell of me. Ozzy just came in between me and my move. Go. He's about to make my laptop fall over. Go. Sit. At least sit. He said, yeah, I'm the star of the show.
girl,
He really likes Carrie Underwood.
this is nice.
So it has
Is
been
it
20
blonde?
It has been 20 years since Carrie Underwood won American Idol, and now she is back in the good graces and actually judging for them as well. The question I really have is anybody actually still watching this show? I mean, it's been a while since. I feel like it's been a while since these shows have been kind of relevant. I don't know.
Okay, I feel like the clips become relevant on YouTube. Crap like that.
Yeah, perhaps.
But I have not watched anything like that since I was on AGT personally.
Yeah, I'm just curious if it's more of a 40s and above, 50s and above kind of people watching it on YouTube TV or still have satellite TV or whatever. I can't imagine too many younger folks are watching American Idol or The Voice or anything like that. At least not in the same way that we consumed it, like you said, maybe in short form content on TikTok and YouTube and things like that.
I remember when you sat on the couch and waited for a show to come on.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That was good shit.
Rolling through your reels and you're like, oh, well, there's a good clip. Oh, when was that? And then you kind of want to figure out when it was because it was a good one, But now, not hardly anybody just says, okay, all the kids, let's get in there and sit down. We're going to watch a program on TV. That don't happen really a whole lot anymore. every once in a while we'll get caught in the moment, and if we see it on or whatever, we'll stop and watch it. But as far as actually going and scheduling when we're going to watch it, it's usually a rerun when I finally see that it's something,
Yep. I don't know. I just feel like maybe this is some kind of an attempt from Disney to try to get people interested in this show again, perhaps. Maybe they're trying to get some of the, like nostalgia people from back in the day. Because as you know, Katie, Fremantle Media kind of did a reformat for this because it went away and then it came back on a different network and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was about the time you were on AGT because we started working with American Idol as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
But since then, since we were working for them and doing emceeing and judging and things, I haven't really seen a whole lot. And I mean, Lionel Richie, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Carrie Underwood's. Not so much of Luke Bryan, at least not his performing. I'm a fan of his songwriting more than his sound. But it doesn't feel, I don't know. I was surprised that, honestly, when I saw this story, I was like, wait a minute. American Idol still exists?
Yeah.
I know it still exists, as of like a couple years ago, so I figured it still did. But I don't know. It got like Katy Perry kind of made it weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
She made me uncomfortable many times. Like there was so many clips. Everyone saw it. Like even if you didn't watch it, there's clips on the internet. Like, what are you doing? Calm down, lady. And you're married.
Yep. I wonder how much the recent scandal or controversy played a role in this. Probably not much would be my guess. But
yeah.
Any thoughts on this one, Ryan?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've watched the show. Like, say, if I seen somebody, like if I caught someone that was playing like a real good song, I would go back and look at it, and I would go see if I could find it on Hula or something like that. But it's like you never can really find the same stuff anymore. But at the same time, talking about like Katie, I mean, there's several things that I don't know. It just at one time was like a family favorite to watch, and then now it's put into some kind of other, I guess you'd say, a little bit different format. Like you said, maybe they're changing it up to be able to try to catch a different style of audience. But
it feels like. I think what it is it feels like reality TV now more than it does like a competition.
Yep. And I know of people that have gone through the process in the last couple of years. I just didn't know that they were still doing it. But maybe Carrie Underwood will bring some people back. She is one of the more notable people that has performed on the show in the past. But again, 20 years is a long time. But Carrie Underwood is still A-list, so. That's cool, I guess.
The good thing would be is she is, she's definitely got a following now, for sure.
Yeah.
So, country music can really do. I mean, she'd be the right one to put in there. I mean,
agreed.
Her, Miranda Lambert, either one, But
it's just weird. It would seem to me that maybe they're kind of targeting. What was that sound? Uh-oh. Okay, everybody's here, right? Check.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
That was scary. All right.
Yeah, I had like a pause all of a sudden for a second.
It just seemed to me like maybe Luke Bryan and Carrie Underwood are kind of redundant. Like they're gonna have sort of the same fan bases, I would imagine. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. It seemed to be somebody in the hip hop world would have made more sense, like maybe Babyface or somebody like that.
Man, when they had Nikki on there, whoo.
Yeah, Nikki would be a good pick.
I love her.
Like Luke Bryan, don't get me wrong, he's got some good songs, and I'm not taking nothing away from him, but just like it's almost, I don't know, there's so many, and God forbid me for this is going out on live, but there's so many pop country stars nowadays, and a lot of it falls into the same category and almost sounds the same whenever they come on the radio, and they don't really catch you until the vocals, until you find out who it is. But all the same stuff when it comes out, it's like, oh yeah, this sounds like it's going to be Morgan Wallen, and it ends up being Luke Bryan, or it ends up being Jason Aldean. But it's not taking nothing from them people, but there's just no I guess you'd say, original songwriters back in the day, and they brought their own sound to the table. You don't have that anymore. It's like people are running out of ideas. Now we're going to go back to covering, Beatles songs and stuff like that because it was so good. You know what I mean? It's like what you're wearing. But it's there's no heart in it anymore, and I think that's kind of plays a role in everything now that they keep the same people on a TV show for so long. It's just like doing the same thing every day. Eventually, you want to, I guess you would say, partially or retire from it. And, I guess that's just kind of the opinion that I would say on it because, maybe we're not seeing everything. Maybe somebody got burnt out. There's no telling,
Well, those are all really good points. I will say that in the past, again, I've done over 400 episodes of podcasts over the last few years, and I've been very vocal of my distaste for pop country. However, I have softened a little bit. That doesn't mean I necessarily like pop country. I love pop music and I love country music. I'm not a fan of the pandering sound that sits kind of in between those two genres. Not a big fan of it. I do understand the marketability of it and how many people enjoy it, and that's why it's easy to sell it. It's like the homegirl uniform that you see at the concerts for those. I mean, it's a lot of pandering, and I understand that sometimes you have to do that to sell your art. But at the same time, again, I'm not gonna demonize it as much as I have in the past because I understand why it's there. I love pop music. I love country music, and I don't like what's in the middle. That's all. And I'm okay with the mixing of genres.
Yeah, mine's what Southern punk, country outlaw. Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But my genre kind of falls into I want to rock, but I got kind of country vocals going on. So everybody kind of
see that's a major thing too. A lot of people are okay with the mixture of rock and roll and country, but not okay with the mixture of pop music and country. And really, they're both very marketable. Both of those, genre classifications are very marketable in today's climate.
In my rock world too, when pop, now that it's getting a little more mainstream, a lot of people are upset that pop is in like metal now, or like rock and crap now too.
Well, look at bands like Bowling for Soup that have been around for 20 years that have been mixing pop and punk, right? I mean, that's been a really...
I think really what it is like these bands that were like really good are now like super mainstream, like doing pop stuff now.
Yep.
Yeah, like, Nickelback paved their way. I'm just joking with you.
Anyway,
Bring Me the Horizon, that's a great example.
If you guys are out there and you're still watching American Idol, let us know in the comments why you're watching it. Are you excited about Carrie Underwood coming back to the brand? Let us know in the comments. But anyway, we're going to move on to our third. Go ahead. What was that, Ryan?
But I actually am excited now that I found this out. It might give me a reason to just say, hey, see what she got. Watch it and see what she puts them through.
Yeah, it could be interesting just to see if she channels any of like the Simon Cowell from the past. Because Simon,
about 6 months. No, I'm joking with you.
But yeah, we're gonna get into our next topic. This will be our third story, unfortunately, about Richard Simmons that has come onto the show. We did talk about his passing a few weeks ago, and then we talked about the fact that there was an investigation into his death and the unfortunate situation of headlines misleading you into clicking. That's something we talked about either last week. I think it was the week before, actually, that we talked about that. Well, now it has come out that Richard Simmons' family has slammed Pauly Shore of MTV fame and an actor and comedian in his own right, for claiming that Richard Simmons didn't write his own social media posts. Now, Richard Simmons and Pauly Shore have, in the past, kind of butted heads over the filming of a biopic in honor of Richard Simmons. Apparently, Pauly Shore... Well, I'll just read the article. and then we'll talk about it. Richard Simmons' family has responded to Pauly Shore's recent claims about the late fitness guru. Pauly Shore, whose decision to write and star in films about Simmons' life, including the short film The Court Jester, was derided by Simmons on social media, recently said that he wasn't so sure Simmons was actually behind the social media posts, speaking out against the project. When Shore's biopic was announced in January of 2024 about Richard Simmons, Simmons responded on Facebook that he had, quote, never given my permission for this movie. The Pauly Shore biopic does not have my blessing, unquote. The two entertainers then went head-to-head on social media several times about the biopic before Simmons' death in July. Now, Pauly Shore, who is 56 years old, told Entertainment Tonight on July 30th that he, quote, didn't even know if that was him tweeting the whole time, unquote, when it came to the biopic. But he still insisted that Simmons, quote, unquote, wanted him to make the biopic. On July 31st, Simmons' staff posted a statement on from Simmons' brother Lenny on X, that confirmed, quote, Dickie absolutely wrote his own posts, unquote. He worked on them a week in advance, going over and over them to get the right message, he wrote in the statement. He would often read them to Kathy and I beforehand. The statement also confirmed that Simmons did not, quote, text, email, or call Pauly with anything, not even to wish him good luck, as Pauly has stated many times, unquote. So I talked to...
I thought it was fake. You can't hardly keep up with anything anymore. I mean, you go to looking at social media and something popped up and I thought it was fake. So I was like, oh, whatever. And I should have not scrolled past it. I guess I should have read it. But I guess he really did die. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's bad, but...
Well, that's a different story. There were several hoaxes over the years of Richard Simmons' untimely passing that were obviously proven to be false. But, yeah, he did actually die in July, as Katie and I reported right here on the show. Again, then we reported on the fact that I think it was Los Angeles County Coroner was investigating his death. And I think it was either The Guardian or MSNBC or something like that. It had a headline in there, Richard Simmons' death under investigation, made it seem like there was some nefarious means. So we talked about that and how headlines are so misleading. And now this has been brewing for a while, prior to and post-death. And it is very apparent to me, after having done the research, that Richard Simmons was adamantly against this biopic from Pauly Shore.
All of this feels really snaky.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kind of like made me feel like who got paid off or what not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a scary proposition too in this day and age, and really this is a thing that's always been allowed. Is literally anybody out there can write a biography or a biopic or whatever about anybody they want. There is absolutely no laws against it. So, like, if I wanted to write a biography about Kadie Lynn, I could do it without her blessing. There ain't shit she could do about it. As long as I don't libel her at all in the book, then it's fine. It would obviously, if there's something in it that's untrue, then Katie could sue me, and then I could get in trouble. But there's nothing that stops me from writing a book about Kadie Lynn. Absolutely nothing. And same goes for movies. Now, obviously, if you're trying to sell the movie, this biopic, clearly you're going to want Richard Simmons' blessing in that, because if he shares it and his blessing is part of it, that's a huge thing. If you don't have that, it looks even worse. Then, like, it looks really bad, just as it would look really good if you did have the blessing, you know? Just seems to me, now that Richard Simmons is here and can't speak for himself, Pauly Shore is awfully vocal about this all of a sudden, because...
I know. Like, it's like odd timing, sir.
Yeah. It's like, why weren't you saying this after January? Like, you announced in January the biopic. You could have very easily at that point said, they're claiming this is Richard Simmons and it's not. And then Richard Simmons, all he would have had to do was just film a video saying, yes, it's me. Stop. I don't give my blessing to this. But now that he's dead, he can't dispute it. And that's what looks shady, I think, right?
Yeah, because go ahead and probably, publish it, and then they're going to just think, oh, well, watch this all unravel, and it's all going to really probably be in the book, anything they want to know, but they're just going to try to probably turn it into something that it's not, if it's, anything to do with the book.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I found to be pretty funny, maybe in an ironic sense, is Richard Simmons did have somebody in mind, and he was working on writing his own biography at the time of his death, and the person he wanted to play him was Tom Cruise. So you can kind of see that Richard Simmons was thinking a little bit bigger than Pauly Shore, perhaps. Just saying.
Maybe so.
But according to Richard Simmons' publicist, Tom Etsy, Richard Simmons said the Pauly Shore biopic does not have my blessing. Some major studios are interested with me being involved in my story. The word "my" is in big letters. Who should play me? Tom Cruise, LOL. And that's directly from Richard Simmons' X account. Another post that was posted on Facebook. I just read that a man, this is from Richard Simmons, this is one of the ones that Pauly Shore is saying was not written by Richard Simmons, says, I just read that a man that I don't know is writing my biopic starring Pauly Shore. I do not approve this movie. I am in talks with major studios to create my own biopic with some help. Wait for this movie. So, yeah, that's on his own social media, so that is a pretty strong statement against Pauly Shore. And to be fair, this should not be news anymore, right? This should just be the end of it. In fact, Pauly Shore should probably not even release this movie at this point.
No, like, at this point, it's like, God, let the family rest. Like, they're investigating his death, and now we got all this shit happening.
Exactly right. Yeah. All right, so moving on, our third story. I don't know if you want to take this one, Katie, or do you want to take the fourth one? Because I think you did the last Justin Timberlake, if you want to do this Justin Timberlake as well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so our third story this week is very interesting to me now that I'm a grandfather instead of a father. I'm still a father, but I'm not a father of school-age children. I am now a grandfather of preschool-age children. But I found this to be interesting. Very recently, within the last couple of years, there are dozens, in fact, of Texas independent school districts that are adopting a 4-day school week, which I find very interesting. And the reasons for this, in some cases, is because of post-pandemic financial reasons. There are other reasons as well that I want to talk about as well. But for some of these ISDs, not all, but some of them are talking about lingering effects from the pandemic. And those lingering effects have caused many Texas school districts to struggle with attendance rates and funding, which is leading many to adopt a 4-day school week model to help. In Texas, there are currently 83 districts that have approved a 4-day school week, affecting almost 100,000 students, according to an analysis. Now, Lomita ISD, which is about 100 miles north of Austin, is one of the districts that adopted a 4-day school week, and Superintendent Rob Moore said it is already helping. Quote, we are currently at about 96% attendance, which will be slightly improved from the most recent years, said Moore. We have shown a marked increase in student enrollment since beginning the 4-day week. Now, in 2015, the Texas legislature passed House Bill 2610, which is striking the required 180 days of instruction and instead replacing it with requiring districts and charter schools to operate for a minimum of 75,600 minutes. There is a big difference between that, which will allow districts to adopt a 4-day school week. Now, Lomita ISD chose a Tuesday to Friday school week with Monday as their optional day, which I'm curious what that means. Quote, Lomita ISD has provided programming, snacks, and lunch on each optional day for students in pre-K to 5, as well as periodic tutorials for students in all grades who need extra help. So kids can still go to school on the 5th day if they want, at least in this school district. The optional day... Cool. The optional day has, quote, provided teachers with increased planning time and the opportunity to attend staff development meetings, with most Lomita staff reporting significant improvements in mental health. And that is the key, and that is the main reason why a lot of school districts, not just in Texas but beyond, are adopting a 4-day school week, is because of mental health and educational burnout, which is something I'm sure all three of us have dealt with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm already at my shop. I'm at a 4-day week because sometimes when I hit the ground running on Tuesday, my first day back, it's like I don't really. It's like a flash when Friday gets there. So I'm all for the 4-day week. There's so many businesses that switched to 4-day week since right before COVID and then after COVID. I mean, just because of the economy. I mean, if you think about it, sometimes if people already know that other businesses are closed on Mondays, well, you already know pretty much not to open on Monday because they're not going to come by. I mean, there's a lot of people not even out on Mondays in my town anyway, and I mean, unless they absolutely have to. But I just kind of my personal opinion on it was like 4 10s is enough, for especially. I mean, not for everybody, but somebody like me that I have, 4 kids. Me and my wife's trying to, make everything work with them. They're all in sports. I do live music, sometimes Thursday through Sunday, sometimes just depending on what it is. But we're trying to be very family oriented from where I was in the past. And I mean, whenever I first opened my shop up, I was like, man, I've got to get to where I can be on a 4-day week. And that's where I'm at now. And then I've seen it on the news, just like what we're talking about, the whole spill of Smith County, a couple other counties trying to get on board with the same thing because it just like it gives somebody even extra rest if they need it because of just, exactly like you said, mental health issues, sometimes just emotionally and, physically exhausted. Sometimes you need that extra day. And a lot of people think, oh, well, they're just pussies. No, that people don't understand. I mean, somebody has, just like my song, Wandering Mind. Somebody has something like that going on all the time. It's hard to, cope with it without having that extra day sometimes. And that's kind of what I use Mondays for. Sometimes I used to say, oh, I'm going to go to work and work for a little while. Now I'm just like, you know what, Mondays, it's just already shot to hell anyway. Never had nothing come good of a Monday, it seemed like. So that's just my opinion on it.
There's a lot of different factors in this too, and I'm glad you're here, Ryan, because you can give us a lot of insight on this. One of the things that is being demonized for this new 4-day week is there's a lot of parents out there like yourself that don't want to go from 5 to 4 because they feel like they're going to miss a day of work. And if they miss a day of work on top of the fact that they have to find, either they're going to miss a day of work or they're going to have to find somebody to take care of their children, especially their younger children, and that's going to eat into their income as well. So that is one of the things. Now, as a parent of school-age children, can you kind of see that mentality as well from parents who maybe are a little concerned about having to find somebody to watch their kids for that third day?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do, but I mean, one thing is just like during the summer, for example, I don't know if they'll still offer it, but during the summer, the whole time at Grants Lane School District, they offered free lunches. As long as you showed up there to get it some way, you could have a lunch for each one of your kids just because that's what our state of Texas is doing for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And, it's the state. They're putting their hands in there and saying, hey, these kids that you've been coming to school, that's some only way they've been able to eat, so that these extra days has been all added up on summer. They've been offering all these kids free lunches at school if they just, have somebody to go and get them. I mean, there was even kids that I know, I had one guy working for me. He said his son was riding his bicycle up there and getting his lunch just because they're trying to make it, and that's just, that's kind of the deal. I mean, that's real. I mean, I guess you say it's thoughtful. And if they were to do that, I mean, that would give the parents a little bit extra, not having to worry if they had offered that day for an extra lunch. Because some people, I mean, you don't understand this economy like it is or used to be back in the old days. I mean, there's still a lot of people suffering, and they're, going to school hoping that they get fed, and that's what, they're relying on, free lunches and stuff like that. Whenever you're that broke, I mean, and you take one day out, I mean, that's where you can kind of go to both sides of the fence of it.
Yeah, I love that point too. Food insecurity is a major issue in this country. Now, Katie, you are the youngest of the three of us and the closest to school age. How do you think this would have affected you if it was instituted while you were still in school? And I know you were homeschooled, but you did go to public school for a while as well. So tell us what you think would be better for you as a student.
I think the optional day is awesome. Cause like sometimes like you just want to go hang out with your friends or like crap, we got this test coming up, like I need to study for that, I need help. I always was like I was homeschooled for like the later portion of my school career. But I man, I sucked. I'm so bad. I am such a hands-on learner. I have to have someone like telling me, like map it out for me. I can't like look at a computer and like got it. So that would be. I know like most kids wouldn't show up. Like you could have like more one-on-one time, like for help, because God knows I needed it. But and then I'm a little bit different, but I had shows and stuff on the weekends. What I wouldn't have done after a show on a Sunday night to have Monday off at school.
So just to wrap up this story, studies have shown, not just in the United States, but worldwide, that the shorter school weeks, number one, increased student attendance across the board. Literally, because they had a 1 day less of school, they were more likely to show up the other 4 days. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and this has been something that has been, a lot of people have said that, taking them out of school that 1 day is going to make the test scores go down. And studies have shown the direct opposite of that. Test scores have actually increased with the less school time that's being instituted. Now, all the studies don't show that, but for the most part, the majority of the studies done by places like Harvard and people that know a lot more than I do have shown that decreased time in school has increased test scores. And I think because of those studies, that's why you see a lot of these school districts are like, yo, we can increase school or test scores, we can increase attendance and decrease funding. This is a win-win.
Talking about.
Say what?
I said that's some more of that mind rest I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's so important too, not just for the students but for the teachers as well, because we all know the teachers are not funded as well as they should be. Obviously they should be making a lot more money than they do. But giving them that extra day to prepare, even though they're probably still at school, I imagine it's less stressful, than having an optional day is probably less stressful than a full day of school. Go ahead, Katie.
People don't realize it because at school you're learning. It's just as bad as having a fucking job. You're just as tired.
It is worse. It is worse. I am here to tell you it's actually worse.
And half the time you got to go home and work hours on homework. People are assholes. Kids are assholes. Teachers are assholes sometimes. Like, I would have killed.
Let's compare jobs versus school just real quick. When we're in a job, we know we have to work our ass off, but we also know why we're doing it. We're doing it so we get a paycheck.
And we have usually the same shit day to day.
When you're a kid, the only reason why you go to school is because your dad will whip your ass if you don't. That's the only reason why you go.
Why do I got to do this? That's exactly what my son.
Yep. They ain't getting a paycheck. They don't understand what they're getting out of it. Like I said, they're only going so they don't get their backside whipped. You know what I'm saying? So I would personally say that going to school for a kid is worse than an adult going to work. That's just my opinion as an adult.
I absolutely agree.
And they have to go. They don't get to drive themselves there. They have to spend sometimes upwards of an hour on a bus there and back sometimes, depending on how far away they live. They're getting up at 6:30 in the morning. They're not getting home till 5. Then if they're doing sports on top of that, it might be 8 or 9 before they get home. Those are ridiculous hours for somebody who's not yet fully grown. Period.
Yep.
I mean, that's nutso to me. So kudos for these school districts that are looking out for them. You know, I know a lot of this is financially based as well, so there are ulterior motives, but there are school districts out there that aren't worried about the money, that are simply doing this because of mental health, and kudos to them. Katie, what did Justin Timberlake do now?
He done fucked up. No, I'm kidding. He did though. So, we talked about it not that long ago. Mr. JT, Justin Timberlake, got a DWI for driving drunk. And this is the name of the article. Justin's, I cannot read to save my life. I need to go back to school. Anyway, Justin Timberlake's license is suspended at DWI hearing after singer again pleads not guilty. So, Justin Timberlake was arraigned for a second time in his driving while intoxicated DWI case on August 2nd, past Friday. The singer, who is on a world tour, appeared virtually for the hearing of Sag Harbor, New York, where he was pulled over in June. During the hearing, the judge informed Timberlake that his driver's license would be suspended and came down on his lawyer, Edward Burke Jr., for irresponsible comments. So what happened at the hearing? Well, I'm such an idiot. Timberlake appeared via video conference from Antwerp, Belgium, wearing a black collared shirt, according to NBC News. He pleaded not guilty to a revised misdemeanor charge of driving while intoxicated in the Hamptons Village. Burke withdrew a previous motion to dismiss the case. Sag Harbor Justice Carl Iris?
We'll go with that.
Something like that. Officially suspended Timberlake's license in New York. The suspension could carry over to other states via the Interstate Driver's License Compact. The license will be suspended pending the outcome of the case.
Can we just first of all say, if this person's name was Edward Smith, like, I mean, appeared via video conference? What the hell is this shit, bro? Like, if I drove drunk somewhere, there's no way in hell they're letting me call in, bro. I don't care where I'm at.
Oh, they're going to make me come in and say, like I have in the past, they're going to come in and say, hey, we need a UA from you. We need you to, what have you been doing? And if I call them and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm at work, I can't come in today, they're going to be like, okay, we'll just come get you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What you need? Video conference from Belgium. Like, say you're an elitist without saying you're an elitist.
Listen, so the next hearing is set for August 9th, but Timberlake is not required to appear in person at that one either. That will be followed by a hearing scheduled for September 13th, which he may be required to attend.
Well, that just goes to show you right there that money almost can buy anything. Because I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that we don't see behind the fine line, I'm sure. But anyway, it's just, if it would be any of us right here at 3, we would definitely be like, oh, yeah, you've got to be here. We're going to have you. If you can't pay these fines, you're going to be doing community service. You're not going to do anything on the weekends. You know what I mean?
There ain't no Belgium in your future, Ryan Savallo.
Lord.
Get the hell out of here, bro. Like, what is this? Absolutely not. Now, apparently, he's only facing up to a year in jail and $500 to $1,000 in fines, and it's highly unlikely he's ever going to step foot into a jail.
That's a damn penny.
But it also seems to be highly unlikely the man's ever going to have to step foot into a courthouse either. Yeah. And so what is that telling the entire world is that Justin Timberlake can drive absolutely shit-faced out of his mind, then make up shit to the media afterwards and say, oh, I only had one, and then isn't even required to show up at court. What do you mean?
Also, he is still on tour. So, like, I'm reading, and he has shows in Belgium on August 3rd. So this was the second. He had a show in Belgium on the 3rd and 4th, and he's going to be traveling around the UK. If he is mandated to appear in person at his next hearing on September 13th, it will be during a break in his shows.
No!
According to his tour schedule, Timberlake will be in France for a tour date on September 13th, but then has nothing until September 28th. Until the
So
show
Ryan, you're working the oil field, my dude, and you get pulled over for drinking there. Are they going to wait until the end of your oil field job to get you into court?
No. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Come on,
I guess
man.
Remember, like, it's not who you know, it's who you blow. Or who you blow for, I guess.
It's just unbelievably dumb, man. I can't believe... we're trying to teach our children not to do certain shit, and yet the most famous and rich among us are allowed to not even go to court after blowing 3 times the legal limit and could have killed Grandmama down there on frickin' Sag Harbor Beach.
That's the kids get in their head. They see stuff like that, and they see, somebody famous getting away from it. They're like, well, if I do the same thing, I mean, maybe I can get away with it.
I mean, all I got to do is make sure I'm on tour when I do it, right?
Yeah.
Ridiculous, man. All right, we are to our weird but true news segment, and the way this is going to work going forward whenever we have a special guest is I am going to choose one, Katie's going to choose one, and then our special guest will come up with a weird but true as well. And I'm going to let Katie go first since I have mine picked out, and I hope she doesn't pick it. But from now on, Katie, we don't actually have to pick it from this.
Yeah,
this
I
link.
found my own.
Perfect. Take it away.
And this one is so great. Oh my God. I saw this and I was like, perfect. Okay. So I'm on BuzzFeed, actually. So cornflakes were actually invented to suppress sexual impulses and desires. So, John Harvey Kellogg. Huh?
Okay, before we get started, that explains a lot about my ex-wife. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
So, John Harvey Kellogg invented cornflakes in 1894, but it was later used as a part of an extreme diet promoted by his church to basically suppress horniness. Kellogg thought sex and masturbation were abnormal and unhealthy, so he believed cornflakes. Affleck, okay, and their lack of flavor would help fight off any desire.
So basically what they're saying is you eat the corn flax, and then you're just like, you know what? I was planning on masturbating after breakfast, but god damn it, these corn flax have beaten all the masturbation out of my mind.
Oh,
no,
it's like, now I'm fucking depressed. What did I just put in my mouth?
And that's why they fucking invented powdered sugar.
I've got to come back on corn flax.
Y'all can both suck my wee-wee.
As long as it didn't come from a barbecue restaurant. Oh, man.
Not quite intense.
Oh, that's great. Oh, let's take their sexual desire away and give them the most depressing food ever known to man.
For real. I saw that. I was like, that's all I need.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
Got to eat it with milk back in the old days.
Unpasteurized milk to make it even worse, right? Try to beat off after this, Junior.
I think that'd be a good one.
This is great. Oh my god. I can just imagine the frickin' advertisement campaigns too, right? Oh my god. Is Kevin in the bathroom for longer than you expected? Corn flax!
He's eating corn flax out of the toilet.
Oh my god.
Ooh, okay. Weird but true news. Corn flax are the anti-sex game. Back in the 1800s. Who knew?
Damn.
Does explain a lot about my previous marriage, though. I'm going to keep it real.
Oh, man.
All right, Ryan, what do you got for weird but true this week?
Well, actually, I didn't look anything up on that. So you're gonna have to give me an option, I guess you'd say.
No, that's okay. I can double it up. It is optional for you, so that's cool. All right, so I've got one. This one is from the New York Post, and the headline says, "Send AI to space to spill human secrets to the aliens," scientists urge. But is it worth the risk? Let's find out. One giant beep for mankind. Scientists have proposed a radical new method for sniffing out potential alien life on other planets. No, we're not sending cornflakes. We're going to send AI into space and see if any little green men respond.
Let's depress the aliens.
Right? No masturbation for you, Master Race. The science fiction-worthy suggestion, recalling in the Netflix hit show Three Body Problem, was recently put forward in an essay published by Scientific American. After 40 years of serious search, we have not found such ET intelligence, and our messages remain unanswered. Frank Marcus, director of citizen science at the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute, and Ignacio G. Lopez Francos, a principal research engineer for NASA, wrote. These are legitimate places, you guys. We cannot... Go ahead.
If they launch a rocket and they land that rocket and then we open the back up and we start unloading pallets of cornflakes, they're going to be tripping so bad.
Well, I guarantee the pictures on the cave wall will change. We cannot conclude that we are alone in the galaxy, given its vastness and our nascent search efforts. It may be time to radically rethink our approach, the duo stated. The time could be right for sneaking into space's DMs. Now that distinct signs of life on exoplanets highly similar to Earth have been observed and confirmed. Oh, shit. The two experts suggest that previous attempts to share Earth's culture with the vast unknown... Wait, that's the big story. When did Earth get culture? Wait a minute. Pause. Come on. I didn't know that. Anyway, attempts to share Earth's culture with the vast unknown have been far too subtle, most notably a Bach piece put on the Voyager probe's golden record in 1977. Wait, they had a choice between Bach and disco, and they went with Bach?
Oh. Man, imagine them aliens at a rave.
So So, the two experts suggested... Oh, wait a minute. Instead, modern alien exploration calls for, quote-unquote, something more meaningful. What could that be? Well, their answer is developing a chat GPT-like language learning model, which is called LLM for short, in a to-be-determined format for extraterrestrials to easily engage with, ask questions, and learn about our world. This would enable extraterrestrial civilizations to indirectly converse with us and learn about us without being hindered by the vast distances of space and its corresponding human lifetime delays in communication, the future-minded duo wrote. So essentially, we want to talk to the aliens, and we want AI to do the talking for us. Has anybody been on TikTok lately?
Yes. Not TikTok, but recycled TikTok on Instagram. So
I see what AI is doing.
Katie?
What'd you say, Ryan?
Huh?
You already researched this topic?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I felt kind of out, but I was like, man. Now that's pretty weird, man. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if y'all have watched it, but that Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah. I haven't.
Really get to messing with that stuff? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. But my grandpa tore up and down that there was life on other planets. I mean, I can tell. I don't know. I might would.
They doing some weird shit in Antarctica. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so we're gonna do one more story, and I'm waiting for this ad to change up because you guys aren't gonna believe this, and I'm gonna have to go to a different screen just to show everybody once the ad ends. Go ahead.
So, back in the 40s, when my grandpa was in the Air Force, he was one of the special guys that could work on a certain kind of radio in those planes, those spy planes. He said one night somebody come busting up in his house after he had just got out of the Air Force and took him and like 3 other guys from Texas around here and hauled them all the way to New Mexico overnight, made them rewire some radios in a plane, and then took them back, and they never knew where they was at. But he said he felt like he was at Area 51. But I don't know, kind of a cool story he told me when I was a kid.
All right, so
That's nuts.
I'm gonna show you guys this on OBS real quick, and then I'm gonna talk about it. This is some crazy stuff. Let me think of how I can do this. Okay, so if I do, wait a minute. If I just move that over there, yeah, I can do it that way. Hold on. So if I move this over here, you guys should be able to see that now. Let me make sure. All right, so this is the question in the question in picture. This is the picture in question. As you can see, that looks like a gorilla. My co-host cannot see that. I'm showing it to our viewers.
Yeah.
But the title of this story is "I spotted a giant gorilla on my son's baby monitor." And this is what it really was. I showed our audience the picture, and it looks like what you would think a gorilla looks like. I'm going to read the story. It says, "This mom's animal instincts were way off. Maddie Moore was left terrified after looking at her baby monitor and seeing a giant gorilla standing in her living room. The mama, who resides in Mesa, Arizona, recently put her 1-year-old son, Weston, down for a nap before stepping outside to tan. While soaking up the sun, Moore checked the baby monitor, which was set up in her living room, and got the fright of her life." I can imagine. She recalled the incident in a viral video that has garnered over 30 million views, writing, "Just checking my baby monitor to find a huge gorilla in my living room. I never moved so fast to go and see." First of all, I don't think you're going to go very quickly just because there has to be a decision-making process between, do I really love the kid that much, right? This is a gorilla we're talking about here. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, what was it? The mortified mom subsequently revealed that there was no ape in her living room. Thank goodness.
That's a fucking gorilla.
No, it looks like it, doesn't it, Katie? Rather, it was actually an embarrassing optical illusion. There was literally nothing in there, so I was thinking maybe my monitor got hacked, and I'm kind of freaking out more, the mama told Kennedy News. Moore subsequently realized the monitor wasn't hacked, nor was she hallucinating, thank goodness. Instead, it was little Weston's toy gorilla that had been seen on the monitor. I'm going to show you guys this picture as well. Never mind, because an ad just came over the top of it. Actually, here it is right here. There is the baby's gorilla right there, and apparently that is what it picked up. And so, yeah, it was just an optical illusion. Here's a picture of the toy again in her hand. Just crazy. I bet you that scared the shit out of her, boy.
That scared the shit out of me.
So y'all be careful with them baby monitors. There could be gorillas on there, or put down the mushrooms, right?
Yeah. No mushroom tea late in the evening.
Yeah, please. I tried mushrooms once. I couldn't keep the pizza lit, unfortunately. All right, we are down to our final main event topic of the evening, and the reason why I brought in our steel woods expert, Mr. Ryan Savallo. It has recently been announced that Steel Woods, who is a country/roots rock band, has announced they will stop touring. And Ryan and I talked a little bit off podcast yesterday about this. I didn't want to talk too much because I wanted to get our natural opinions here on the podcast. Let me just check our time real quick. We're doing great. Awesome. Okay. So, essentially, Steel Woods is an amazing country band slash roots rock slash Americana, southern rock kind of vibes as well. Really cool band. I'm just gonna kind of talk about the story here, which is from visitathensgeorgia.com is where I got this story. The Steel Woods have captivated audiences with their powerful sound and heartfelt lyrics since their formation in 2016. Co-founded by Wes Bayless and Jason Rowdy Cope, the band has amassed over 200 million streams in their short lifespan. In 8 years, that's really, really impressive, actually. 200 million streams. Their songs Axe, Blind Lover, and Out of the Blue have been featured on Taylor Sheridan's hit TV shows Yellowstone and Tulsa King. Road warriors at heart, the Steel Woods have toured rigorously. That wasn't my mistake. It's actually written like that. Toured rigorously, building a loyal fan base brick by brick, while sharing the stage with the likes of Blackberry Smoke, Cody Johnson, Miranda Lambert, Cody Jinks, Leonard Skinner, and Dwight Yoakam, to name a few. Now, tragedy struck in 2021 when founder and creative visionary Jason Cope, otherwise known as Rowdy, passed away due to complications from diabetes. The band, however, pressed on and continued to tour, and they released their final studio album, On Your Time, in the fall of 2023. With 4 studio records behind them, Wes Bayless, who is, once again, the other co-founder, shared the news to their fans in March of 2024 that the Steel Woods will stop touring at the end of this year, putting an end to one of the most promising new outfits in independent roots music. And this band has been making waves. This is me talking now. This band has been making waves for years, both before and after Rowdy's unfortunate passing. And they are one of the top artists in the roots genre, especially from the independent side of music. And I know that Ryan is a huge fan of their music, covers a lot of their songs in his show. And so I thought this would be the perfect story to talk about. First of all, how do you feel about them not touring anymore, and what do you think of the reasons behind it, Ryan?
Oh man, probably the thing that I really think of it. I mean, it's kind of, I wouldn't really say it's depressing, but it's like I kind of felt like this was their year. I mean, my own honest opinion, and it may still be, but I went and seen them at the Louisiana grandstands here, and it was just really like a few of their songs had already kind of hit my heart. Then actually see it that they was going to be playing it for the last time, and the next time I see them, I was all like, man, it's just really hitting home. And I was emotional. I mean, I was teary eyed through a few of their songs just because I was all like, they've been through so much. But I think it's just they're doing it so pure still. And that's why I know it's from the heart. But just not anything. I mean, I feel like my own honest opinion is maybe it's a reminder of Rowdy, and it's just kind of hard to keep going. But this is just my opinion. I mean, it's kind of something that I've felt like I've read, but I don't know for sure because it's not been verbal and said that. But it's just they tried, keep chugging along, and I feel like, they're still doing a great job at it, but it's just like maybe whenever they see that, when they go out there and see the Steel Woods, they're reminded of Rowdy. And I just feel like maybe they want to try to start a torch and start carrying it some other way, or they may just need a break. I don't know. I wished I knew because I'm real good friends with them, but that's just something that they don't know on reasoning. That just was a decision, and Wes just kind of had, that's where he felt like his heart was at. And, that's the, biggest thing. They all just kind of, I guess you would say they look real mutual on it. I mean, everybody's still just like they was. Everybody's jolly. I can see a little bit of heartfelt stuff. And matter of fact, Brad Gaines, they're actually stage manager and I guess you'd say tour manager. He does all of it pretty much. He's not all of it, but because they are the ones performing, but he's the stuff you don't see in the behind the scenes. And me and him has, been real good friends and gotten real close through the years, just me going and seeing them. I mean, I just, I could have had opportunities with them, working with them. And I just, chose to go my own way because of some of my own music and then some of the other stuff that I had going on. But I really love that band, and I just feel like if they did end up changing their mind, or if maybe they went a different route of doing it, I mean, I think that he would be just as much famous, if not more, for just what he's all been through, what the whole band's been through. I mean, I know they're all gonna go their own way, but I definitely would love to see eventually a reunion tour or something later on down the line, just because they think that's the right thing. Because there's just so many songs that they've wrote, that's actually, you get songs nowadays, everybody loves the beat of them and stuff like that, but they don't have a meaning. A lot of all their songs has some kind of meaning. If you listen to it, it's almost like a story. And I mean, I've got so into their songs that I've even called my buddy that I was telling you about, their stage manager, and asked, "Hey man, does this go to this to this?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, actually this song goes to this album." And it's just like a big story, and it's crazy, just how everything was put together, and then some of their stuff not necessarily was written out of the Bible, but it was written out of stuff, I guess you would say, like that. Just, I guess you'd say almost like the Ten Commandments, stuff like that. He just there's very meaningful stuff in there that you can really make your mind go a far ways and kind of read it as a story. That's why I think that so many of their fans, they've touched so many of their fans and catch them, because everybody's got the story in their mind their own certain way and find some way to relate to it. And then somebody else might hear the same song, might be the guy's best friend that has that story in his mind, and then they relate a different way.
Yep.
But everybody's there relating in some way that it just brings something out into somebody. And
That's
it's
when you know good music right there, for sure.
I mean, the very first time I ever heard the Stillwoods live, Wes, the lead singer and co-founder with Rowdy, was driving their tour bus because they didn't have a bus driver at the time. He come pulling up, was like, "Hey man, can y'all help me back in here?" And I was all like, "Holy crap!" First time seeing the Stillwoods, he's driving the tour bus with a 18-foot trailer on the back, triple axle trailer on the back, and he's just like pulling up in there. And then that night, I remember, because they opened for Cody Jinks, and Cody Jinks is a real big name. Cody Jinks is like a brother to them, and God bless him. They just did their last show with Cody Jinks. They just put that out there this weekend. They did their last show with Cody, and but yeah, it's just they're one of them people that are kind of very family oriented, and they're just a meaningful type of band to me. I mean, there's a lot of bands that I love, but as far as them, they're all like a family. They're tight knit. They all seem like they're all mutual about everything. So that's what you call a band of brothers. And I pray for those guys every day. But yeah, like Tyler Powers, the lead guitar player, he stepped right in there. He was already a good friend of Rowdy's. Rowdy was always saying, "We're gonna find you a good band. We're gonna find you a band." And then here he is. He's the lead guitar player now because of Rowdy's passing.
So, Katie, if you have any questions for him, I definitely have some, but I'll let you go first if you have anything.
Okay, this is all speculation. Everyone has their own opinion, but if that was to happen to me, like playing with somebody, like being friends with somebody and playing music with somebody, that's a whole different kind of thing, like even when you I haven't dealt with death, but like losing bandmates, for whatever reason or another, like it just doesn't feel right, like them not being there, like especially if it's a good friend of yours, which tends to be. So I mean, I've definitely experienced that on a small level, but I mean personally, that's the guitar player. That's who you look over to as soon as you stop singing. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it.
And he was also the creative.
He
was also the creative force behind the band. Wrote most of the songs prior to his passing as well. So this wasn't just the guitar player. This was the guy that was writing the songs. You know what I mean?
I'm saying as the vocalist, kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Like you look and it's like not him, and it's the main.
He was the lead guitar player for Jamie Johnson for over a decade.
Right.
And then he decided to tell Jamie, "Hey man, we're gonna go this other route." And I met this lead singer, and him and Wes, that's how close they got. They said, "We're gonna do this," and they did it. And then now Wes has been stout enough. There's no telling how many tears he's cried behind his glasses, playing all these songs that he wrote with Rowdy. And I'm just thinking, just my own personal thinking, whenever he goes out there and he looks at his tour boxes and he sees these Stillwoods on there, it's a reminder of Rowdy's face every time he looks at it. And so
Absolutely.
maybe and I do know that he did say that I think he's going to continue writing songs. He always will. I mean, there's no reason behind that. What he writes, but yeah, he's definitely. I think that's what it is. I mean, just a reminder. Maybe I don't think I could do it. I mean, there's like even when my dad passed away, there's stuff that I still have of his, but when I go look at it, it puts me in that depression. Not really so much a depression, but I'm like, man, I still can't believe he's gone after 8 years.
Yeah.
And how I am with my dad, so it's not like I try to block it out. I'm very verbal of who my dad is and what my last name is, but as far as me going to look at his stuff and be reminded of it every day, that'd be a different thing. You know what I'm saying? So
and that doesn't rule out, like, musicians will always be musicians. You can't just throw that bone out of your body.
Yep.
So this isn't saying that, like, all these musicians are done. It's just, it feels like we have, like, if I was in that speculation, okay, it feels like we've had our run, we've done good, we lost our friend, I think it's time we close this chapter, kind of thing. Like,
I mean, me not saying anything for them or taking anything away from them, just that's what I think. And I will say that about them. They are very professional. They don't let a bunch of I guess you'd say paparazzi bullshit mess with them. They don't. They're not verbal about their personal life, and that's why I've just not even noted on it. I'm just gave them hugs, told them I love them, and I mean I understand. There's been several things through the years that I had to lay down that I didn't want to, but it's because of just like Wes, he's growing a family. He's got 3 kids and one on the way. Just like his song "Cutting the Grass." That's one of the songs that I cover. I love that song. And people's always like, "Oh, did you write that?" No, a guy from actually from Alabama and Nashville now wrote it, Wes Bayless. And they're like, "Okay, who's that?" Well, he's got the famous band called the Stillwoods. You may not know them because they're not mainstream. But, man, they are definitely catchers. They can catch somebody, and they'll have the most loyal fans once they catch you.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Ryan, in text. Rowdy passed away in 2021 in January, and then they released an album also in 2021, which I'm assuming had Rowdy's fingerprints on it. It was called All of Your Stones. But then in 2023, this is now 2 years after Rowdy passed, they released an album, their latest album, called On Your Time. I'm going to assume, not knowing for sure, that this album was completely made without the fingerprints of Rowdy on it at all. Maybe there could have been some songs there left over. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just putting that out there for our viewers. But I'm curious what kind of impact that album had on this decision. Because if you think about it, when you go through that process of creating, producing, engineering, all of those things, and your right arm is not there, you're doing all of this with just one arm now, and you're trying to make it happen. I'm wondering if there was maybe some kind of contractual thing where they had to make another album, and then when they got through with that, they were kind of like, man, you know what? This doesn't feel the same. I think we need to move on from this. And one thing I asked you last night is if that album sounded any different than the previous music. Did it? Or does it?
Yeah, it actually does because, Rowdy, if you ever went and watched them and, you can still look up some of their stuff. He's very famous for volume pedal, swells, and stuff like that coming in the songs. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking nothing from Tyler Powers because he is a phenomenal lead guitar player. But it's just, some of the stuff you can't tell the difference if you're not looking at him. But some stuff it's just like, man, you really can tell, what's the difference here. And, and it's just, nobody will ever be the same. Rowdy was his own person. And that's kind of how it goes, anybody can sit there and study exact note for note, but nobody ever hit those notes like he did because of just how he was and what pedals he had set up and different stuff he had accumulated and what he used. He just had he had two pedal boards, and he would use volume pedal on one and other effects on another. And just like Tyler, he may have all that stuff programmed in his pedal board, but he has a small pedal board compared to Rowdy, and that's just a different sound. Rowdy used, matter of fact, I've got one sitting right here behind me, exact same amp right here. Rowdy used this right here, and Amber, my wife, got this for me for my birthday a couple years ago because I was such a Rowdy fan. But it's an Egnator, and Rowdy always told me, "Hey man, if you want to get that swell sound, that's what you need to get." So nobody uses stuff like that, and everybody wants to go big, and he's a type that will use a small amp, put a mic inside the cabinet with it, pull it out and kind of face it a certain way for the gig, and stuff it all back in there at the end. But he just he had his own way. He had his own recipe on how his guitar was put together. I mean, everything was unique about him, and I just honestly think that the difference now you can tell, but you can tell that they was either trying real hard or they just got the exact same recipe Rowdy was using.
Yeah,
because they got a lot of the harmony guitar players like him and Wes used to do, like the guitar parts, it would be harmonizing the guitar is what it was. But anyway, when they would do that together, you could tell that it's got that same stuff that the last album had, and you could tell that the last album, Rowdy was really putting all of his heart and soul in, and it was just that was a rough thing, man. They wasn't even finished with that album, and there was just so many touch-ups, which it sounds perfect, but there was stuff that he was Brady was also pretty much producing that album. He was right there behind the guy running the mixer the whole time because he come from a long background of some heavy music, especially like Jamie Johnson. Imagine being on some of the studio work that they've been on.
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 piece band, but just he just come from a big background, and most definitely there's a different sound for sure. Tyler, he's wonderful. He fell right in there, and I don't think he could do it. I don't think they would have found anybody better, but definitely just Rowdy had so much he could just, I don't know, just his moves and stuff, the way he just would play. I mean, you could just tell he felt everything, and you could also read him if something wasn't right. I seen when they was a couple of new drummers, and I could see him, the way he would read them. He was all like, "Man, this is not right." So
and people out there that are fans of music, just casual fans, like the three of us are not casual fans. We are much further than casual fans of music. But if you are a casual fan of music, you probably don't realize how intimate it is when you're in the studio trying to take your creations and put them into a produced, polished up song. It's such an intimate thing. And I'm not even a musician or an artist, but I've seen that. I've been in the studio with Katie. I've been in the studio with a lot of other artists. I see the intimacy that is in there between an artist and their song and how important that is. So I'm very curious, and we may never know, but I'm curious if that intimate setting with that last record, the 2023 one, just felt hollow without Rowdy there, and then putting the Steelwoods name on that record maybe just felt like it just didn't feel right, especially to Wes. And perhaps that's what they need to do. Maybe when Rowdy first passed away, it was kind of the show must go on mentality. But then when you get into the studio a couple of years later with the first post-Rowdy record, that whole thing can get flipped on its side just based on that intimacy level. And honestly, not just sound-based, but just the presence of that person not being there anymore can just change the entire outlook. And then you're slapping the same name on it, and maybe you just don't feel like that's right. And maybe that the show must go on mentality ends at that point.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of what I guess you'd say emotionally read from it. But I could just, whenever everything first unfolded whenever they, so the first time they played in the Caverns, me and Amber went to see them at the Caverns, and that's in Tennessee. Well, it's actually a music venue that's down in the Caverns.
Yeah, it's amazing. Mm-hmm.
And it was just an amazing show, and Rowdy was there. Well, then the very next time they were supposed to play there, we already had got set up to go and everything, and then they ended up canceling because of Rowdy's death. And it was, I understand that was a reason for it, for sure.
Absolutely, of course.
Had a group to figure out what they was going to do. And I think the only reason why they kept going is because of Tyler being such a good friend of Rowdy's and actually playing on the stage with the band a couple times. And Rowdy had health issues back in the past, which, that's kind of part of diabetes. But either way, he had Tyler fill in for him for, several dates on the tour. And that was just kind of why I think a lot of the fans, this was like he's already part of the family and they've accepted it. But as far as all of them, like you said, wanting to keep going, I think that most probably, Wes being pretty much the co-founder and now the founder of the new album. But it's just, like you said, I feel like he thinks that, it's just want to keep going on. It will be just like, two people that's the main people of the band and the two original members. And then one of them's really gone. You just kind of continue on like, Wes Bayless and, like me, Ryan Savallo, Lost Rebels. You keep carrying your name and know people that you have, but like an old band that I was in, I had to, take a step back if somebody was gone or something happened, and that's, my point of view would be completely different because I didn't lose anybody. But, with Wes losing somebody like his brother, they used to go in the woods and write songs. That's how they got so into it. And, it was just like they would come back with a masterpiece. And I'm sure Wes has been a bunch of heartache trying to get just songs out.
Yeah.
Maybe not much. He's very talented guy, but I just feel like
I feel like the wording is everything too. Like everywhere that I've seen the story, the wording they're using is the band is being disbanded. And that's a different word than discontinued, right? Because if you say discontinued, that gives you the idea that they're just going to change the name. The band name is being discontinued, but the wording I'm seeing everywhere is disbanded, and that usually means the band is breaking up. The band members are going their separate ways. So I'm curious what's next for not just Wes, but the rest of the guys too. Perhaps they, like Katie said, you can't, when you're a creative person, you can't just turn that passion off. It doesn't work. So I'm curious where they go next. What do you think is going to happen next for these guys, Ryan?
I know that I kind of feel like I have a lot of wishful thinking. Like kind of their, all their albums is like a story, and it kind of makes me think like it's they're going to follow through with the story and then change the name. But that's just me, kind of a pipe dream. But it would be so awesome if they did that. It was just like something else, but it was continued through with some of their songs. But I'm sure that all the stuff that they've wrote, I'm still going to be not actually covering it, but still singing them in some way if he continues with music. But I'm kind of wondering also, and that's just because we've been distant the past 6 months and I don't get to talk to him like I used to. It's just I feel like maybe he may take a break from music altogether for a while. I don't really know, and I wish I knew. And that's what I guess that will be kind of what hurts the most, because all them guys have been doing it for a living. They've been making it happen, and then now they're just going to happen to just go their own ways, and then I guess see what happens now. Which I feel like some of them's going to end up musically somewhere else, because like you said, they're just going to, I guess you'd say, dismember or whatever you want to say. But I just feel like maybe, luckily, hopefully, that all the guys will go to a good band, because the main three guys that I know is just the bass player Johnny and the lead guitar player now Tyler, and then Wes. The other guys are new to me. They've got a drummer and a steel guitar player now, but it's not the original members like on some of the albums. And just been people. I'm kind of wondering if the drummers that they had just couldn't handle it too. Whenever Rowdy left, I mean, they've had 2 drummers now since Rowdy was there, and the last they had Steven and the drummer before that both got to play with Rowdy. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just I really wish I could answer that. I wished I knew, but it's kind of me and my sister and a few friends already got our tickets for the Ryman College or the Ryman Auditorium, and that's over in Tennessee as well. And I've always wanted to go there. And then I talked to Wes whenever I was at the Louisiana grandstands, and he said, "Yeah, man." He said, "Y'all get tickets to the Ryman?" I said, "Yeah, we did." And he was like, "Man, that's gonna be a good one." I was like, "Yeah, I know it is. It's y'all's very last show." I said, "There's tears and happiness and everything else."
So the Ryman is amazing. You're going to love it there. As a country music fan, you are absolutely going to love it there. It's just an amazing venue. Man, try to get there early and bust out a song, man. Just a cappella. You'll die at the acoustics in there, bro. Oh man, it's amazing in there. But Steel Woods, like this whole story here is a reason why I enjoy podcasting and interviewing, because I like to know the story behind stuff like this, and telling the story is really important. So what we're going to do, Katie and I are not going anywhere, so what we'll do is once we find out more from the Steel Woods and West Bayless, we will have Ryan back on, and we will talk about what the next step is for the Steel Woods players once they announce what's going to happen, and that way we can keep our viewers and listeners updated on that as well. Whatever they decide, what I do know is the Steel Woods has been making absolute noise, no pun intended, for a while. And as an independent artist in the world of roots music, which is essentially just traditional country with a little bit of rock and roll mixed in, that's my opinion on what roots is. In the world of roots music, as an independent artist, it's really hard to get noticed. People like Cody Jinks have done a good job at it. There are others as well, obviously. There's a lot of others as well.
Was in bars for 20 years before he ever. That's how hard he had to work. I mean,
you're talking about Cody, right?
Yeah, Cody Jinks. He put his mind to it. He put his head down, ass up, working, and he just kept on. And he didn't ever take no for an answer. Every time somebody tried to knock him down, he'd just go to the next place. It wasn't nothing like it. He took it as a knockdown. And yeah, man, we used to be real close to Cody, and he's just got so much stuff going on. But I mean, there's times that we could call him on the phone.
Uber busy. Yeah, he's definitely the poster child for making it big right now for roots rock artists. And man, like I was saying, it's just really hard to get noticed. The Steel Woods have done a good job of that, and it's because of their sound. It's because of the lyrics, and it saddens me to see a band break up. And I hope that what they cultivated up until now can exist post Steel Woods, and I hope that they can all be successful.
They don't keep playing it, I'm going to keep covering it. So
there you go. So, Katie, what do you got planned coming up? I know lots of teaching. She's like, I have no freaking idea. I'll probably go.
No, I don't. Wedding planning.
Yeah. So we did get that. I have it right here in front of me.
Did you?
I have it displayed over here.
I know y'all got one because you already RSVP'd. I'm sure you did too, Boston, but I haven't seen it yet, I guess.
Oh, I have to probably do that, huh? Shit.
I would like for you to.
That what the deal was on it. Me and you haven't talked.
Also, if anyone's watching this and y'all didn't get an invite, I'm sorry. Please get over it.
Right?
I didn't get an invite. I'm so not getting over it.
He's like, what?
Booyah, bitch! No, I just realized there's a link on the back where I'm supposed to do something to the stuff. Ryan, what do you got coming up, man?
We just played at the Sidekicks Bar and Grill last weekend in Emory, and then the weekend before that we played at the Oasis in Midlothian. And then also the next thing we have coming up, we're going to be playing at Lake Tawakoni. It's going to be called Casting for Katy, and it's about a suicide awareness. Had a guy that was a minor, but he was a teenager. And, he ended up, it's about him, about suicide because of something that happened. But it's going for a good cause. I mean, that's they asked if we would dedicate some of our time. We said most definitely.
And what's the date on that?
That is going to be August the 17th.
Okay, so this will probably be out after that. But I'll, if you'll do me a favor and share something to me for that, I will definitely put it up on our page.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll send you the link to, or it'd be like I'll send it in a Facebook message.
Please do, yeah. I'm looking for info on it now.
Yeah, I've got that. And then not this weekend, but next Friday, I'll be at a Brisket Love, just acoustic show. And I was actually going to ask Katie if she wanted to do a song swap with me there, but I don't know. She may have to look at her schedule. But it's going to be August the 16th.
That's in Lindale.
Yeah, and then
That's in Lindale, Katie. That means we could come, perhaps.
I'll have to look and see if I got anything then, or
good barbecue.
Oh shit, we come in full circle.
Yeah, so I'll be at Brisket Love August the 16th. That'll be next Friday, and then the very next day will be that Casting for Katy.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I got the Casting for Caden thing up here, but yeah, still send me a link to that to my messenger. That way I can share it. So my week is going to be extremely busy. First of all, football starts this week, preseason football. The Patriots play on Thursday, so we'll get our first loss out of the way quick and easy. And but up until then, I've got 2 interviews this week. I've got one tomorrow with Megan Barker. This is for the other podcast, the Boston Chris podcast. Megan Barker is just making noise all over the place. A hell of a songwriter. Her dad wrote songs for people like Ronnie Millsap and Johnny Cash, and some songs we've all probably sung. And I'm so stoked to talk to her. I've been friends with her since like 2016, so this is a kind of a catching up thing. And then Wednesday, I'm talking to a couple named Mike and Amy Aiken, and they're really cool because they're releasing a brand new song on the 16th of August. And they're cool because they literally sail around the world and play songs wherever they go. That's what they do. They sail their sailboat. So when they hit the road, they're literally hitting the open seas. And so they'll sail to Europe or Asia, and they have gigs like you guys do. They have gigs but instead of flying or driving there, they're sailing there. So that's going to be a fun story.
I wouldn't mind playing a cruise, sure.
Right? Shit.
Yeah.
I'd love to go on like an Alaskan cruise or something like that. Just
yeah.
One last thing, Ryan. You don't have a web page, right? We're just sending people to your Facebook page. Is that right?
Page. I mean, I should have a web page, but I'm kind of everything behind it. I mean, I have a few people handing me gigs, but it's just kind of me, and then people get a hold of me to play gigs, but it's just yeah, that's like a full-time job sometimes. Booking gigs,
absolutely.
Trying to
oh my gosh,
out there. But
done that.
Tried to hire, but nobody really wants to work anymore. You know what I mean?
There's not really any booking agents in East Texas anyway. It's not. It's like, dude, I've done that work. It's like picking up dog doo-doo at the park, except if all the dog did was diarrhea.
Right. It's like a struggle sometimes trying to pull teeth. Well, we got so and so regular here at the weekend. We don't really need you. And then you play for them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we got to get you in there." I was going to tell you like 6 years ago.
Well, it's not just that, but a lot of these venues don't want to pay what you're worth either. You know what I'm saying? Like, musicians are being paid the same amount as they did in the 70s, and it's 2024, for Christ's sakes.
Right. I definitely give that to Sidekicks. They matched my Oasis. So both of those places right there, they give you what you're worth.
Yeah, I'm sad. The Sidekicks had Austin Mead there recently, and I was not available to go that night. I don't know if you guys have heard of Austin Mead.
Oh, he was at Sidekicks. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Austin and I have been friends for a while, and I was so excited to go see him, and then something came up and wouldn't allow it. That
Yeah,
motherfucker is so good.
Did you hear me?
No, I did not.
Me? Oh.
He's that Southern Rock ring for sure. Austin
Yeah.
Mead.
Yeah, he's
I like
amazing. Yeah, got that Godsmack sound, sort of,
Yeah.
kind of. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love Austin Mead so much, and he's just the right kind of weird too for me. Like I love weird, but anyway,
The right kind of weird.
the right kind of weird, kind of like Katy Lynn is the right kind of weird. We're all
We need to
three the
write
right
that
kind
song,
of weird.
Ryan. Right kind of weird.
So just to
Yeah,
wrap up, go ahead,
I
Ryan.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you so much again for being on the show with us. We'll definitely have you back on in the future, especially if we hear anything from the Steel Woods for sure. But whether we do or not, we'll still have you back. Again, guys, you can see on your screen right under there, under Ryan's beautiful face, he is at Ryan Savallo on social media. You can follow him everywhere. We'll make sure his links are in the description below as well. You guys are going to see his music at the beginning of the show also. And I'll make sure that Katie and Ryan's recent show from Union 28 in Midlothian is included in the description. As always, follow along with Katie at katylynn.com. No music at the end. It's just katylynn.com. Get all of her music there. You can buy merch there. You can find out where she's playing. All of those good things. And her merch is amazing. I actually need to update my Katy Lynn merch because all of my merch is like 13-year-old Katie. And so the looks I get when I'm wearing a purple shirt with a 13-year-old girl on my chest, you know, just doesn't work out well in East Texas, if you know what I mean. So we'll update the merch soon for sure. You'll see all of my links down there as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, or concerns, or you want to add topics to our wheel, you can contact us at The Chris and Kadie Show, all spelled out, at gmail.com. If you have any questions for us, you can do that there as well, and we'll answer all the good ones on the show. And, of course, we'll give you a mention as well. We would love to do like an Ask Chris and Kadie episode at some point. I think that would be a lot of fun. And hopefully... What was that, Ryan?
I'd love to be a part of that one day.
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. But yeah, so follow along with everything we have going on. We are on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Audible, CastBox. We are all over the place. Wherever you are listening or watching, please hit the follow or subscribe button or the like button or the comment button. Engage, engage, engage. Share, share, share. We need your help to grow, and those are the ways you can do it. Completely free to do all of those things. You can help us. Episode 14 is in the books. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you down the road.
Bye.